Good morning. I want to thank everybody who joined us. My name is Olga Atamanova, and Ukraine Media Center Ukrinform starts its operation today. It's year 9 of the war and day 274 of our fight for freedom. So our team prepared the following events for you. At 12 o'clock, we will have Sergei Khlan join us online, the deputy of the Kherson Regional Council, and we'll talk about the situation in Kherson region. At 12:30, we will have Maria Mezantseva join us, People's Deputy of Ukraine, head of the parliamentary delegation of the Verkhovna Rada in Parliamentary Assembly of Council of Europe, and we'll talk about the resolution with the European Parliament to recognize the Russian Federation as a state sponsor of terrorism. At 1300, Denis Marchuk will visit us, Deputy Chair of the Ukrainian Agrarian Council, and we'll talk about losses and assistance to the affected Ukrainian farmers. At 13:30, joining us will be Yuri Ignat, the Speaker of Air Force Command of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and we will talk about the aftermath of the missile strike which happened yesterday. And at 1400, we'll have a panel discussion on the topic, how has the Ukrainian society changed and how does it change during the war. We will have famous Ukrainian sociologists visiting us. It will be Lyubomir Mysiv, Deputy Director of the Sociological Group Rating, Mikhailo Mishenko, Deputy Director of the Razumkov Center for Sociological Science Service, Andrii Yeremenko, founder of the research company Active Group, Pavlo Fedorenko-Kutuyev, Doctor of Sociological Sciences, Professor, Head of the Sociology Department at Ikor-Sikorsky Kyiv Polytechnic Institute, and joining us right now is Andrii Nebytov, Head of the Main Directorate of Kyiv Regional Police. Mr. Andrii, good morning. Our country suffered another strike by the occupiers. We know that there were more than 70 missiles launched at us. So what is the aftermath of this strike? Good morning, everybody. What happened yesterday was a massive missile strike of the whole territory of Ukraine, including Kyiv region. I want to mention that the most horrible strike was on the apartment block in the Vyshhorod district. As of now, we can state that there was a significant damage of the 4 apartment blocks. Also, there was a kindergarten damaged and a school nearby. Currently, we have 35 injured. Today in the morning, 1 woman died. She's the 5th victim of this explosion. 30 more people are injured and hospitalized. They have all the military aid provided, and we hope that they are going to be all right. Currently, we've been at the site with the military governor Alexei Kuleba. The inspection is completed and the mitigation of the consequences is in progress. I want to mention that in fact the bodies of the casualties were found near the building. 1 was found in the apartment and 3 more people died in hospital. The air raid alert was on during more than an hour, but people did not move to the shelters. It shows that this case shows that there is no safe place. So wherever you reside, Russian strikes can reach you anywhere. So we call all the people not to neglect the air raid alert, because believe me, if the inhabitants of that building would have moved to the shelter, it would not have resulted in their deaths. There are more destructions of 8 buildings in residential areas. In Fastiv district, 1 man was injured by shrapnel with traumatic amputation of the left leg, and 6 more employees of the power supply sector were injured, and they left the hospital after the provision of emergency medical aid. So this is the aftermath of the strike. There were reports of the consequences of destruction in Chobani in Kyiv region. So if I may ask about the situation over there, yes, this is what I'm saying. In Chobani and Zabiria and Hlavacha and Ukrainka, private buildings in residential areas were damaged and even destroyed. And as we know, as I mentioned, one person was injured. The results of this destruction with regard to our energy infrastructure resulted in the situation when a lot of towns were left without power supply. National police, upon the order of Igor Klimenko, the head of national police, increased the number of teams on patrol, which allows us to deter the criminal situation, to ensure the security of our citizens. Also, I have to add that upon the order of the military governor Alexei Kuleba, the resilience stations were deployed. These are the stations where people can get hot food, get heated, get access to the internet, charge their gadgets, telephones, power banks, and communicate with their closed ones. There are police patrols at such stations who provide any necessary information to our citizens and all possible support. Any department of police in Kyiv region works in autonomous regime. We've taken care of our power independence. We have generators, and the citizens also can use our administrative buildings for any help and support, to get hot drinks, to get access to internet, charge gadgets. Please, we welcome everybody, and the police welcomes all the citizens. We have video from the site. I would like to ask our technical team to show this video, please. If I may add a little bit, I want to add, it's important, you see, there was information in all the chats and groups that missiles are in the air and there will be explosion, and our air defense will work to down the missiles. But one of the casualties was staying in their balcony, just watching the situation, which resulted in his death eventually. So I want people to understand, when there is a missile strike in progress, you cannot be 100% safe at any place other than the shelter. If the shelter is organized nearby, we really do not understand why people do not use shelters. We all feel relaxed. But unfortunately, every time Russia kills Ukrainians, they are happy, I guess. Well, they're happy, I'm sure they are, because they achieved their goals. So let's not let them achieve their goals, and let's take care of each other. Mr. Andrii, we understand that currently our power infrastructure, power grid, is under constant strikes, and the fact that it's dark in the street, how does the police react to that? Did it increase the number of crimes happening in the streets? Did you deploy additional patrols in Kyiv region? Yes, obviously we were prepared for this. The first steps we've taken is the power autonomy, so the police could work 24/7. Upon the order of Igor Klimenko, the head of national police, we increased the patrols twice, both mobile patrols and stationary, so the people can feel safe. Specifically during nighttime, we communicate with the citizens. We distribute light reflectors among the citizens provided by the municipal administration. We explain the rules of behavior in the dark time, so we're sure that we have enough means to maintain the criminal situation. Dear colleagues, your questions, please. Maria Gonchar, Ukrinform. Previously, you informed that there are children among those who suffered the strike. Yes, do you know their condition? Yes, unfortunately, 6 children received light injuries. They are okay. The youngest girl is 5 years old, and thanks God, I hope they will be all right. And you also mentioned that there are more patrols in Kyiv. Can you just name the approximate numbers? On a daily basis, there are 250 more additional patrol teams, up to 350 additional to 350 standard, so the total number is around 600. Pavlo Kovalchuk, UNN. Mr. Andrii, you mentioned, we know that there is information that in Kyiv region, in Glivacha and Ukrainka, and 5-story buildings have damage in Kyiv region. In your opinion, is it in precise work of Russian missiles, or is it intentional elimination of the people of Ukraine? Well, first of all, we have to have investigation in residential areas, but what we've seen in Vyshgorod, it looks like a direct strike. There is a pit, and nearby, in the radius of 1 kilometer, there are no targets that Russia could have destroyed. Even the objects of critical or power infrastructure are on a significant distance. Maybe those were imprecise coordinates, or maybe intentional intimidation of our population. Thus, the Russians try to oppress Ukrainians and achieve their goals. And as of today, in a view of yesterday's situation, what's the number of casualties and injured in Kyiv region? And what's going on with exhumation of the bodies? Yes, it's in progress. The last number was 1,138 bodies. During the clearing of debris in Vyshgorod district, we found a part of a body, and we're thinking it's an elderly woman who was living alone, and she was missing in action, but by the results of the DNA test, it's like 1,138 bodies of the people, of the civilians who were killed during the active phase of Russian Federation in Kyiv region. If we summarize the numbers, the figures for yesterday, we have 5 casualties and 37 injured in different scale. As to the destructions and damage, it's 8 private buildings, 5 apartment blocks, and 2 municipal enterprises, kindergarten and a school. And regarding the objects of power infrastructure, I will not comment it due to reasonable conditions. We understand that the buildings are in terrible condition. Will those people be relocated? Yes, the municipal bodies yesterday organized the buses, and the hotel was offered for those who suffered the damage, and more than 20 people used that opportunity. But for what I understand, many people were left for the houses of their relatives, and the perimeter is under control of national police. We will stay there until the completion of investigation by the security service of Ukraine. And if people need to gather their things or to see their homes, please, you're welcome to visit that place, but everybody will be accompanied by the policemen because we want to avoid maraudery acts. I want to thank you for joining us here. Dear colleagues, I will remind you our next briefing is at 12 o'clock and we will talk about the situation in Kherson region. Let's trust in our armed forces and work together for our victory. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes.